Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Eddie Marcus here again. You know, it doesn't matter where in the world you might be today. As soon as you start dealing with another person, you're going to find some differences, and that's a good thing. But sometimes good things can come out of differences. That these guys are able to come together, these differences, and take us someplace. Sometimes it can do the same thing and split us and take us apart. But it reminds me that when we're talking about human beings, we got individuality. We got something that's called uh, power. It's what is given to an individual when they have the ability to at least, not necessarily control masses, but the ability to control themselves. In other words, given choice. Choice. Your way. This is you. This is you. Whatever you create is you. You are the captain of you. You are the general of you. You are the president of you. And how you deal with others and other situations of life can be as a slave or as one that is the captain or president or emperor of the you. That is from a position of understanding truth. Well, I got to say that very seldom is that experience. But it is time for, I would say, ladies and gentlemen, for the adult in the room. We always talk about the adult. It is time for the truth to be made known. Yes, the truth has been hidden many, many times. It is a tenet of evil to deceive. People all over the earth should experience as much life in their culture as they desire. It is the duty and the responsibility of all God of love abiding people to advocate for and teach as well as present this culture to the world. A culture where all the people on earth are satisfied. A culture where people live in integrated as well as segregated communities. A culture where everyone is aware of the secret of life, and that is to do nothing that harms oneself. And to harm others is to harm oneself. Humans are to learn to live and live free. To live free, to be who you are. Nobody telling you whether you can abort somebody. Nobody telling you when you should do this or do that when it has not effect on anyone else. Yeah, they should live peaceful, respecting one another, dealing in justice, be prosperous, and those things that you do are very effective in the outcome for which you pursue. Live joyous because you're doing what you came in the world to do. You know it. You know who you are, and you're doing what you're doing, and it is appreciated. The world can't do without it. You can't do without the world. Be happy. And this way, your dreams are things that you live, that you experience. Now, to achieve this, uh, you must invest in a social system that assures the survival of its people and that making sure that they know that these things will be met. And everyone must be assured that they will have basic essentials for survival, which are food, clothing, shelter, education, health care, transportation, and yet, better still, anything that's made at the hands of man as need, as want, as desire dictates. What they have done, ladies and gentlemen, is recognize that in order to meet the concerns for all of the people would require such an abundance. So we talk about goods and services. We talk about everybody. It would require such an abundance in order to easily meet the demands. Well, and it simply involves This is one of the secrets, ladies and gentlemen. It simply involves engaging the people in the process of producing such goods and services. The simplicity of having everyone on board is that it gives each one the opportunity to choose to choose the career that gives them their greatest joy. Their greatest joy. Now, committing to the performance of their gifts and their talents, and it comes as easily as the resources that are available to be used to do the things that will be done. And that's totally right there, free. The earth, which at one time was referred to as hell, I've referred to it as very often, due to the fact that some humans come up with a scheme to claim the resources of the earth. And there's some come up with a scheme to claim the resources of the earth as their own, knowing that these resources are needed to meet the needs, to meet the wants, to meet the desires of the people. So they further their scheme to deceive humans, to take a job, to work, to slave, not a joyous career of choice, but a duty to meet the needs for this evil to prevail, this type of system. To maintain this evil operation, think tanks were created to study how to keep the people divided, at odds with one another. They came up, or should I say, they chose to institute the practice of what? Lying. Lying to deceive, giving out misinformation as well as disinformation, creating hate and racism and bigotry. Wow, my friends. Injustices, terror, and war. And maintaining said system. There's something in the method of keeping blindly obedient to the system is that everything humans need, everything that humans want, everything that humans desire was marked with a price tag that required money, a bait established to a bait established in conjunction of grabbing the nation's resources as their own. Now you got the people as slaves and everything belonged to you. They are to maintain this by hiding the truth. And again, they hide that truth by lying, by rewriting history, these kinds of things. You hear them talking about it today. And always hiding the truth by every means necessary. Yes, the earth, this time, these practices are the evils of hell. Yet, we are to be reminded that one of the most coveted sports in America is football, highlighted by the Super Bowl. Now, one of the most coveted positions on this team is to be the coach's brain on the field. This is known as a quarterback. This Super Bowl, each team in their representations on the brain, or the brain that's going to be on the field on each team, is representative of the descendant of an ex-slave. Both people are of color, meaning people of color can do it as well. So change is coming. What has been hell can be made into a playground at paradise from the mind of descendants of slaves. Descendants of slaves know what it means to suffer. Slave masters don't. All they know is how to dish it out. And to do it a long period of time, think that's the way it's supposed to be done. And that is wherever a power rules. In America, it's white. In Asia, it's Asians. In Africa, it's Africans. In other places of the world, it's the same. It all represents the same. We might have different systems, we have different names, but the outcome is the same. So my message is not to leadership. My message is not to think tanks. My message is not to those who set up and design this hell that we've been living in. My message is to those who's going through this hell. I want you to know that there's nothing that any of these individuals can do to keep you from dying. They can kill you, but ain't nothing they can do to keep you from dying. But there is a power that can. That same power that is responsible for your being here is much more powerful than anything. So what I need you and want you to do is to focus on God and not me or any man. And allow that God that you see, that God that loves you, to be represented through you. Okay? All right, I'm going to leave it there until next time. Eddie Marcus say goodbye for now.